morning. Welcome to Horizon's Person to Person podcast. Today we're with Phoenix4VR, and we'll be discussing mental health and her relationship with virtual reality and the things that she's overcome with the help of virtual reality. Good morning, Phoenix. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning, Flutt3r. How are you?
Doing great. So one of the topics that I wanted to talk to you about was mental health and virtual reality and how VR has helped you with your own issues that you may have faced.
Well, yeah, it has been a real game changer for me. Um, when I am what I would consider an empath, so I get a lot of my physical, I get a lot of physical energies from people, and my close proximity to them, be it good or bad. And when COVID hit specifically, we went underground pretty quick, and the first 3 or 4 months, it was really tough for me because I didn't have that physical exposure. Even though sometimes when I was in a group and had overexposure, that would wear me out, but not having exposure all of a sudden was it was very hard to deal with. I went into kind of a funk. And uh, when I was invited into Horizon, I believe it was late September, early October of last year. Came into Horizon. First couple times were not too great of an experience, but then I went to the Women in Horizon meetup at the Horizon Art Museum and met Paige Danziger and met Casey Mon, and I believe RC was there that night as well. But I met several other women that night and just did a tour, and I realized that that's what I needed. And over the coming months, I was asked to do some different things using my voice because I wasn't necessarily a creator at that time, building anyway. And that kind of gave me my first wings, so to speak. And over the coming months, I kind of adapted so that I was still I still was getting energies from people, even though we are, thousands and thousands of miles apart. Just
Yeah.
by interacting with them, and I felt like that was really a comfort for me. So, we get out a little bit more now. I am at working my second job. I actually work my regular job from home, but it has really been a comfort for me. Now, I haven't really collaborated. I've collaborated on a lot of worlds, but very few worlds have I've been building at the same time, which is odd, I know, but it just hasn't happened a lot with me. So I'm starting to do that a little bit more now, and that has just been a game changer as well because I'm able to learn as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little over novice for building, but I'm still pretty low poly. So I've learned a lot. And I hope to continue to do that. But uh, it's, um, I notice that I still have some issues with certain personalities. Um, but it's easier to walk away from those because I could just like leave if I want.
Yep, exactly. And one of the things you're talking about is, your relationship with Women in Horizon, but you're also involved with HZTV now.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
how has that been empowering for you?
Well, it really has. Buffy has, Phoenix is my name, and there's a reason for that. But, um, you know, I always say, Paige gave me my first set of wings. RC taught me how to fly. And Buffy has given me my second set of wings as I recreated myself in HZTV. So now I host a talk show called the Tea Talk, where we talk with you were my first guest, but we talk with people about their events. And we talk with people about their worlds and just to learn a little bit about the person behind the avatar. We have a special edition coming up that I hope people are really going to be excited about. I'm going to be doing a little teaser, hopefully with Buffy at some point for that. It's going to be a whole series that we're going to do.
Awesome.
And it has something to do with the accelerator program. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's very exciting that we're going to be able to do that. So yeah, it's really, I'm giving my voice to several of the other worlds with HZTV. We have a whole series of things coming up. I mean, we've done quite a bit, but we do have quite a bit of other things that are coming up that are in the hopper, so to speak. I mean, if you went to our project manager world, you would realize how much we have done so far and how much we have yet to do that is in process right now. So I'm very excited about all this. It gives me an opportunity to do a little writing, which I'd love to do. So I love to write dialogue and write backstories for different worlds. I've helped a couple different people do that outside of HZTV. So it's very exciting for me. I am atypical. I'm not necessarily a builder or a scripter, definitely, but I help people in other ways, which I think is important that people know that even though they might not feel like they are a builder or a scripter to make things move, that they can participate in other ways by lending their voice or by writing scripts or dialogue or whatever people need. And I think that's important for people to realize that, because I see a lot of new people come in and they say, well, I don't have any artistic ability and blah, 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 but it's not too hard to
Yeah.
learn, but they can really participate in other ways and be active in
And
the community. And this is really a
and
wonderful community. Everyone is so accepting.
one of the things I noticed when I was reading, and I forget where you had posted it, um, but you had said that one of the first things you built was a flower
Hmm.
for the purple flower world. Would you like
Yes.
to talk a little bit about what that is and what that means?
Well, when I met Paige at the Women in Horizon meetup at the museum, I became friends with her, and it was in October. And she noticed on my Facebook site that I had, or my Facebook page, that I had that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And she asked me a little bit about it, and I said, yes, I am a survivor. That is the story behind the Phoenix. And she asked me if I would like to give my voice to a particular art piece that's in her world that has to do with domestic violence. And I said, absolutely. Um, I am not afraid to talk about it. It was a long time ago, but um, it is something that I went through, and I mainly talk about it because I want people to know that they're not alone and that there are people out there that can listen and that can help. If it's, calling the hotline or just someone that can talk to them about what they're going through, because I understand it. I survived it, and that's when I became the Phoenix for the first time, and I've become it since, several times since then. So it's, but the purple flower world is something that Paige built, um, because purple is the color of the domestic violence awareness ribbon, and all of those kind of things. So it was an invitation to those that have suffered or gone through something with domestic, emotional, that kind of violence, um, that they can build a flower in her world and just put it in there and just have it in there. So you go there and there's all these different kinds of flowers. So I happened to be in the museum and ran into RC, and that's the first time I met her. And so I was telling her about the Purple Flowers world and that I really wanted to submit something, but I didn't know how to build. So she says, "Well, let's just hop into some place and I'll show you how to do it." So she was there when I built my first flower, my first actual build, and that flower has followed me from world to world. So that flower exists in almost every world that I am in or collaborate in at some point, um, because it's a reminder of where I am and where I came from and how far I've come. And not a lot of people know that, but to me, when I see that flower, I know where I am from where I
Hmm.
was, and I'm in a much better place.
So, Phoenix, what was it that inspired you to create your amazing world dragon tree?
I'm not an artist by any means, 2D anyway. Horizon has uh, expanded my thoughts, and I realized that I am a creator in 3D. That's uh, that's what I need in order to be creative. And I learned that. Um, so there is a sleep app that I use on my phone, and it's called Luna. And it provides, when you go into it, I use it most nights before I go to bed, and it provides you like a 3D scene of some kind, and you color it as a lovely British gentleman walks you through the story behind this thing. And it is, and one of the first ones was called, um, it was called the Tea Garden, I think. Was it Tea Garden? Something like that. But it was uh, similar to that. So I need some inspiration, I guess. It's difficult for me to just um, create something out of nothing. I need inspiration. So that was, excuse me, that was the inspiration for Dragon Tree. Um, I built the tree first, and then I built everything around it, included some things on my own. And Luminous is my other world, and that is also based on a particular scene from this sleeping app. And I actually sent a picture of both of those to their app's Facebook page as a private message and said, "I don't know if you want to put this on the page, but I just want to let you know that you inspired me to build these in 3D." And they actually posted it on their page and said, "This is great. This is awesome." Um, so there's several more. As I do these, if I really like the looks of it, then I save it, and I print out a picture of it or something, and then I usually change it up a little bit, make it my own. But it is the inspiration to several things that I have done, and it, I just I love to create a peaceful spot for people to come and just hang out. They don't hang out for very long because I don't have a lot of scripting and things for them to do. Um, but it is, I try to make it just a peaceful, tranquil place that they can just come and hang out if they like.
That's awesome. Now, one of the things I noticed, with regards to your name being Phoenix and the leaves of Dragon Tree, it reminded me of feathers, light, airy feathers. And I was just like, that's what I was drawn to when I went to your world. Was that kind of the inspiration for how you designed your leaves
Actually,
or?
no. I never really thought of it that way. And if I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't do it that way just because when I was finished with the tree, the original design of the tree, that took up every single bit of the capacity because those are all spheres that are drawn out, and that's the most expensive thing. So I learned that the hard way. Um, but no, I mean, the inspiration was, you know, that particular picture,
Okay,
because it had the leaves that were in like, you know, uh, the half sphere shape. So that's what I did is I put a half sphere up underneath each, and then I dropped those leaves on top of it, and then took the sphere out so that they could, and then they lit them from underneath.
very
Um,
cool.
and so I probably wouldn't do it that way again. I would probably use another shape and stretch it out and do, and hopefully they'll, you know, I'm hoping to get some more shapes and things to choose from that you know, we can use that aren't so expensive um for capacity reasons.
Right.
But yeah, I it really reminds me now more than ever, because of textures. I went back in and put the coral texture on all of those leaves.
Oh,
And I
nice.
think that adds a cool look to them as well.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Now, I also know that you're into martial arts.
Mhm.
How does martial arts come into play with just how you feel about everything in life? And then do you do anything with martial arts in VR, like with your worlds or anything?
Um, no, not as of yet. So I started martial arts is something that I always wanted to do. I grew up watching Jackie Chan and Kung Fu and Bruce Lee movies and just loved it all. When I started gaming, I loved Tekken and Mortal Kombat and just all of those kind of martial arts movies and games and things. And so when I was 49, a friend of a friend introduced me to a woman that owned a taekwondo studio, and it's owned by she and her mother. And right now, the mother, she is 77 and she is a fourth degree black belt.
Wow.
And the daughter who I met she's in her late 40s, I think, and she is third degree going on fourth degree. So
Wow.
that impressed me that it was two women that owned this studio. And I talked to her one night and I said, this is something she says, just come and take a week's free classes and see how you like it. And boy, I came on the first night and it changed my life. It really did. Because of what I had gone through in the past, my confidence level um wasn't the best. And this really gave me an outlet,
Hmm.
and helped me. So the idea is to connect mind, body, and spirit. So when you tie your belt, there's a certain way that you tie it, and it's a three part thing, and as you're tying it, you think mind, body, spirit, and then you pull it all together. Um, and uh, I've that was in December of 16.
Mm-hmm.
Had to take a little break in between there, but now I've worked my way to first level brown belt. I have one more level to go, and then I can hopefully, maybe next year this time, maybe the following spring, I could possibly test for black,
Wow.
which would be, I would never have imagined 15 years ago that I would be a black belt in anything. It has given me strength physically
Mm-hmm.
and emotionally. Um, I know that I'm not as triggered by certain things um, as I was in the past, um, because I'm more confident of myself, and how I react to things is not necessarily um, you know, going into the fetal position on my bed, and
Right.
I work myself through it. And it's because of this, what the training has taught me, um, and the confidence that these women give me. And because I work at home, um, they offer Zoom classes because of COVID. And
Mm-hmm.
so I am able to attend a lot more classes via Zoom than
Right.
actually going to the studio, which is like 20 minutes away. So I was able to get to brown, because when I started training with them in
Mm-hmm.
January of 2020, I was purple, but I hadn't been training for a long time. But it didn't take me very long, doing 3 to 4 to 5 days a week, to get myself up to the point that I could test for brown.
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
so now I'm a brown belt, and then the next level is, it's basically, I have to be able to do all 14 forms that I've learned thus far,
Mm-hmm.
and do it consecutively. Um, and so now I'm just working on my stamina,
Mm-hmm.
because at my age, my stamina isn't what it used to be. Um, but it's been a wonderful experience, and it's the best best thing I've ever done for myself, because it has given me the confidence and to speak up in certain situations that I wouldn't necessarily in the past.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
it's been a wonderful.
And was the Taekwondo the inspiration for you writing all the positive affirmations that you have? I know you have a world full of positive affirmations.
I do. Positive affirmations just kind of came to me. I have been uh, uh, in yoga, and have, I started meditation back in 2004. Have done it sporadically throughout the years, and positive affirmations just kind of helped me through a lot of things. So when I built Phoenix Speaks, it was mainly meant for as a template world, but I wanted to give back,
Mm-hmm.
um, and for people to be able to use these positive affirmations, um, whether to help themselves, or whether to, uh, pull it out and put a positive affirmation in someone's world that they're building to help give them a boost, that kind of thing. No one's used it as a template as of yet, but you know, we never know. It may happen. But uh, it was originally designed to be a living world where I go in and change things, um, but it hasn't been used by anyone, so I've just kind of left it as it is. I
Right.
need to go back and change a couple of things, mainly because the phoenix that is in there, my big phoenix, is was built with inverted shapes. So
Oh,
when they flipped those, they all went back to regular shapes. So now it needs to be adjusted so that it looks right. Um,
gotcha.
so there's just like people are going back and tweaking their worlds with textures. I need to go back and,
Hmm.
you know, fix the Phoenix that is in the different worlds. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's Phoenix Speaks. I still go there every once in a while and just sit and look at them all because I just think it's a good thing. Positive affirmations are always a good thing
Hmm.
to, to set one at the beginning of a meditation, to set one at the beginning of your yoga, even to set one at the beginning of training for Taekwondo, because I have
Right.
like a 30-second, we do a 30-second meditation thing at the beginning and at the end. So to use one of those at the beginning and at the end, what kind of brings me in and out of the training mindset, and it just helps. But you have to believe it helps, because if you don't think it's going to work, it won't work.
Oh, I totally agree. I've been leading meditation now since 2004. I've been instructing others in guiding them on meditations. So yeah, 2004 seems to be a very important year for a lot of people. I've noticed that
Yes,
it's been a
yes,
theme.
right.
So now that you've got this amazing community and you're so active in so many different facets, you've got RC that you're working with, Horizon Creators, correct?
Yes.
And
Yes, I am
the theme
I'm
this
on the
month,
admin team there.
yeah, and the theme there is shiny this month.
Yes. Yes.
So do you want to talk a little bit about what that is about?
So Word Wonders is an event that the Horizon Creator Community, HCC, started a couple of months ago. And let's see, it was in July was the first month, and they did graceful. So graceful was the word, and people came in and they would decide if they wanted to build a world around the word graceful and however they interpret that for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't remember how many worlds there were, graceful worlds there ended up being, but then in August the word was wizardly, and there at the end of August there was 12 wizardly worlds. It was
Yeah.
amazing. um it was just how many people participated in that particular thing this month. The word is shiny, so I'm actually participating this month. Lacey, JW, and I are building a shiny world, however we interpret it. I don't know how many others are participating. We're building the hub for it right now. But I think it's going to be, I really think it's going to be great. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to continue from month to month. We take a
Mm-hmm.
vote on the HCC Facebook page because we have several words that we haven't used as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we take a poll and we invite people to add another word. And so usually like the week before the last week, the second to last week of the month, we'll set out a poll on the HCC community for people to vote on the word that they would like to build around. And then the one with the most votes gets that next month. And then we have regular check-ins once a week, and so yeah, they'll all be released at the end of the month.
That's awesome. In HCC, that group also focuses on diversity, correct?
That is correct. We center diverse voices and diverse creations. So there's been several, we did a diversity jam earlier this year, which I was involved with. And they encourage people that support diversity, because the diversity jam was called Be Diverse. It was Be Diversity. And so you'll notice in some of my worlds, I have a bee, and
Hmm.
that's my diversity. And that means that I support diversity and am, I want to center diverse voices and help them to rise and have a seat at the table with everyone else.
That's a really important aspect. I put the rainbow flag in my worlds, and then
Mm-hmm.
the different aspects of diversity on the flag itself, so
Right.
that it
Mm-hmm.
shows that it's so important for everyone to know that they're welcome in the different
That's
spaces. So I
that's
love that you
correct.
guys are doing that. I really do. Well, thank you so much, Phoenix. Is there anything else you'd like to close with before we end for today?
No, I don't think so. That's pretty much me. You've covered it all.
Well,
But
you're
I want
multifaceted.
to. Yeah, I've told people I'm kind of like a hummingbird. I just go from place to place to place, and I just give a little here and give a little here, but I love it. I love to be involved with everyone, and um, to be able to offer my support or help to anybody I can. Um, that's what I do.
Well, thank you so much, Phoenix4VR, and please make sure you check her out on TikTok with HZTV, and have a wonderful
Absolutely.
week, and see you next week.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.